Hi, I'm Kelly C., CEO of Budden Entertainment. I was born in Harlem, USA. My mother did a great job raising me and my sister. That's me on the left. My pops wasn't around, but that's another story. We moved out to Far Rockaway, Queens after the building we lived in had a fire. I used to get into a lot of fights back then, but I never got arrested. To keep out of trouble, I got into basketball and cheerleading. Back in the day, I even was a rapper, Kelly Kell. But today I'm on a mission. What is the mission? To save lives. See, the Mission is Possible documentary isn't about me. It's about 4 people who took the wrong path. It's a story about pain, regrets, and bad choices. So pay attention and don't repeat their mistakes. Yes!
Cause we all lying. They wanna yell Doug, they wanna sell drugs. Ain't no reason for that, get you a job. Cause I know it's hard, I done been through that. No money, 2 straps, I done been through that. Instead of that, I choose to rap and make moves. You duckin'.
I grew up in the Bronx. My mother and father were alcoholics. I got raised by my grandmother. Once my father passed away, and then my grandmother, I just went loose. And my friends didn't help me. They made it worse because they introduced me to the drugs. Once I went into jail, they forgot about me. In 9th grade, I dropped out of school. And for those kids that want to drop out of school, please don't. Stay in school. Get an education. And I love my daughter. My daughter is not with me. I can't even see her. I'm HIV positive, and I know I'm gonna die. And I caused the drugs for using drugs and not protecting myself with different kind of men. Like I'm HIV positive today. This is to my family and my daughter. I know I have hurt you in the past. Please, I need your forgiveness. Please forgive me for all the pain I have caused you. And my daughter, I love you. And please don't take my path.
The advice that we could give to teens or anyone who's using drugs is to really think about the consequences. Like, a lot of people have been through the stuff you've been through. You can't think that just because you're going through hard times and you may not have no dough, you got to go rob people that someone else is not going to understand. You just got to do that. Like, there's a lot of people that don't understand where you're coming from and, you know, have good advice. So, and a lot of times people have gone through the same thing you've gone through. Yep. And even if they don't tell you right up front and upright, it's like people speaks from experience. And if it wasn't their direct experience, it could be something that they saw someone they love going through, and they're sharing it with you so that you don't go through the same thing. Like, seriously, don't let it go in one ear and out the other, because it's really important that you just try to, like, understand other people and see where they're coming from.
One day I was just extremely high. I was real high. I probably just finished robbing somebody or something of that nature. And I came in the house, and my mom was she just went through she just had an emotional breakdown. She was crying, like really, really hysterical, like I had never seen her before, like really on the floor, screaming, get your life together, clean your act up, so forth and so forth. And I mean, it was nothing real big that happened, but, you know, I was always very close to my mom. And, you know, because of the drugs and because of the life I was leading, it wasn't like that anymore. But to see her like that kind of made me want to really go that extra mile to find out what I could do to better myself.
I graduated from ISA. Then I went to Bayside High, got kicked out of there. Then I went to try to get my GED, went to Hillcrest Annex. Wound up getting kicked out of Hillcrest Annex. So I decided to go to a trade school. Went to Thomas Edison, same result. I got kicked out. I regret, you know, the life that I took from somebody. You know, that's one of my main regrets. For the family members that lost their loved one from my doing, you know, I can't forget about them. They're always on my mind. You know, that individual is always going to be on my mind till the day I die. You know, I was a little weed head, you know, 15. And that went on to drinking. You know, I wanted to feel a little higher, so I graduated to cocaine. And from cocaine, I went to crack. And that's where it sent me to my bottom. I don't know how y'all feel about living under a roof, you know, in a house. But if you keep going, you're gonna live where I used to live at, in a box. Cardboard box in a field. All right? I remember not having nothing. Whatever food I found and I ate it. You know, it could be in the garbage or whatever, I ate it. You know, and that hurts the most. You know, you're degrading yourself to an animal. My advice to youth who use drugs, stop. That's my advice. You're not doing time by yourself. You know, your loved ones, your parents, you know, your mother, father, they're doing time with you. So whatever time that you're doing, they're doing that also with you. You know, even though they're not incarcerated, but they're incarcerated spiritually.
Try to turn your life around. If you're going in the wrong direction, or if you're with some other children that are determined to lead you astray, please turn around. It's hard. The pain is so hard. Not just for you, but when I saw my son in trouble, when he asked me, "Mommy, can you help me? Mommy, can you help me come home?" And I had to say, "No, Dad, you need to take time with your children, especially your sons, and work with them, spend time, quality time with them. Encourage them, let them know that you love them, you care about them, because it's going to make a difference."
I grew up before Jersey and Marlboro projects, and you know, I grew up with some real downtown killers, that's what I call them. You know, murderers, all types of gangbangers, like, that holds it down. I would say like 80% of them now is dead. The other 20% got 25 to life, triple times. And the letters that I get from these cats is like, you know, keep it positive. And these are the cats that nobody could talk to them. Because what happened is when you get beyond, when someone strips you of your freedom and they put you in a cell, in a holding cell, not even a jail yet. They put you in a holding cell, you start to freak out. Now, when they put you in a jail cell, I mean, if you a guy, what end up happening, if you in there for more than like 6 months, you start to get tested. So no matter how tough a guy that you think you are, there's always another guy who's tougher than you. And then you're gonna get tested in different ways. Whether if you're a teenager or an adult, the jail system, they don't discriminate. So if you're a tough guy and you go to prison, you're gonna get tested by other tough guys, which probably been in there 10 years and all they do is lift weights, and you're gonna look very tasty to them. So if you understand what I'm saying, that's the reality of it. And you probably looking at this video like, yo, ain't nobody gonna do nothing to me. Yeah, you saying that now, B, but when one guy that's been in there 10 years, bench pressing 350 pounds, hold your right hand, the other one that bench press 450, holds your left hand, you only like $160. I don't see you doing much, you know what I'm saying? So the reality of the situation is to get out while you can, you know what I'm saying?
Really realize that they are young people, not so grown. Some kids, they grow up so fast, and sometimes they have to because they sometimes don't have the mother and father to keep them as kids, and sometimes they have to grow up and take care of the kids or take care of the household or whatever. But then there are some of those little fresh little heifers, those little girls who just want to be grown just to be grown. That's not cute, okay? You have to keep yourself nice and keep yourself very ladylike. You know, grow up at your, you know, the right pace. You know, so when you get to the age of being a teenager, live those teenage years properly.
It's never too late to make a change. It's never too late to start over. You can have a record and you can still create a new one, a different one. I also have to really, really pray and beg that you reach out to your parents or to the adults that most love you and support you. You hold on to that. It's very, very important. You can never stop talking, communicating with your family or whoever it is that you feel comfort from.
If I was a teenager again, one of the things that I would do differently was when I caught this case, it was me and my man C was coming home from work, and I was about to go inside the house. I had jetted past him, parked my car, then he had caught up. He had wanted to go and play this game back then, it was called Street Fighter. You know, and he said, yo, I got some Cisco on it, don't worry, kid, whatever. And I remember the last thing I did was looked at the house, looked at his car. I was like, I should just go inside and chill and go to sleep or whatever. Went out with him, went against from what I actually thought. And that's where everything went wrong. Sometimes I didn't, you know, analyze it carefully enough for me to say, yo, all right, well, if I do it like this, then I'm gonna wind up doing this. You know, I didn't look at it like that. I just said, yeah, let me just do this here, whatever. That's my biggest regret, is not, you know, paying attention to what was going on around me and making that the proper decisions at the time. I got my associates in humanities and social sciences when I was incarcerated, and a lot of that, the youth, that they don't realize that, you know, you don't have to go to prison, you know, and you can just go straight from high school, and you may not get a job, but going to prison, it just makes that task that much harder. You know, that's another strike against you. When I was, you know, coming home and on the right path, looking for certain jobs in certain fields that I've acquired college degrees in, I wasn't able to actually get them. In most cases that I lied on my applications, and when they found out, then I was let go. Whatever you do, man, you're responsible for everything that comes out of you or the actions that come from you, man. So, you know, if you're doing drugs and you lose consciousness and you start doing things that you can say that you don't have no knowledge of, whatever you do, you're gonna be held accountable for. You can get drunk and you shoot somebody and kill them. You're not gonna want to hear, well, I was drinking and I shot him. Yeah, that's murder. You know, if you driving a car and you drinking and you hit somebody, they're not gonna hear, yo, you got behind the wheel and you was drinking, you don't normally do that. That's a choice you made, to drink and then to drive. And as a result of that, somebody got hurt or somebody got killed from your actions. So, you know, think about what you got to do, you know. Especially, definitely think, especially if if you're doing things, if you know that you got money for you to go to school, what you gonna do? You gonna buy some beer with that, or you gonna buy some trees with that, or you gonna save that money so you can get back and forth to school? Most of us that will, buy some beer, that will buy some trees, and we'll try to figure out how we're gonna get back and forth to school, which it should be the other way around. That goes back to choices. Gotta make the smart decisions. Sometimes when you think you have that I know it all attitude already, that's when you find yourself in a lot of big trouble. On some deep. If a parent says that her child is not, or his child is not in a gang, and that they are in a gang, means you don't know what your child is doing, and the child is living inside the same house as you. You know your child, and if you see your child going disaccording to the things and the rules in which you set down, and if it's an offense which is repeated over and over, then you need to have a sit down and talk. And with your child, you need to establish or reestablish that who is in charge and what needs to be done and what can be done, so that y'all can correct whatever behavior problems is going wrong. Can't no one say, yo, well, my advice for you to look out for this. You know your child, or that, quote unquote, that you're supposed to know your child. If you see your child doing things that you didn't teach him, question it. And I guess just like some of the kids need guidance, and some of the parents need it also as well.
The message I have for the young people of today: listen to someone that has experience, that they can guide and tell you, because we know we have gone that path.
The line is now blurred between parents and kids, and with teenagers it's got to be particularly hard. I don't know, our son is 2.
Yeah.
I believe in boot camp. I believe in curfews.
Okay.
I believe in punishment. This is for the future. I'm trying to decide now what kind of parent I'm going to be in the future, because I realize that we also have a hip hop family. My husband wears braids and throwback jerseys. I wear Air Force Ones and throwback jerseys. And our son wears Air Force Ones and throwback jerseys. And by virtue of what I do for a living, there's always going to be a certain amount of in touch to the youth that we are. And a certain line that my son's going to always feel he can cross with me, because he hears me, yes, y'all, and, on the mic all day.
Yeah.
But no, I am not your friend. I am your mother. And I think it starts there.
And we're telling the kids them, yo, just be yourself, take your own time, because the world is your own in the future. So be yourself and do it. You know what I'm saying? Do positive and you'll get through. To the parents now, what I'm saying is basically you need to get involved with your kids more. Listen to their music. Talk to them about the issues that come up in the music. That's how we're trying to talk to you, through our music. We're telling you things about our generation. So pay attention. Straight.
I came from a lot of dysfunction on a couple different levels. My immediate family, of course, I know, like my natural mother, Mary. I recently reconnected with my mother, which is a great thing and a blessing for me. She had her own personal afflictions, that I wasn't aware of as a child. My father got killed when I was 2 years old. My mother gave birth to 6 kids. I'm one of 4 boys, and I have 2 sisters. I'm the baby boy. All of my older brothers are dead. Two of my 2 sisters are still alive. One's in prison in a rehab situation in upstate New York. I think on Delaware, I believe my mother last told me she got a letter from her. And my older sister, Rhonda, she's still a victim of the streets. She's still out there chasing that genie. And she ain't never came back from that. I yearned to be with my brothers and my sisters, so it was times when I was out there in Queens. And, I guess my mama Lois trying to be like, yo, keep me away from that side of my family and that street element. Like, yo, if